This is Jeff with Slavens Racing. This video is about how to read the carbon deposits on the top of two-stroke pistons and how to inspect the piston skirts for wear. Determine if the piston needs to be replaced. These are all out of a KTM 300, newer model, 08 through 12 or 11, excuse me. And the KTM 300 piston will typically last 150 to 200 miles and still give good performance out to that range. Some guys run them higher than that, but the compression goes down and the performance goes down with it. If you want your engine to stay fresh, change them at around 150. So all these pistons here, I've got 4 of them. All of them would be considered normal. Just different stages of tuning and jetting, and there can be a lot of factors that affect the jetting, but we're not getting into jetting today. This is about reading the carbon deposits. Guys have questions about this sometimes. We're looking at the intake side. You can see the cutout in the intake skirt on all these. This is the intake side of the piston, and this area is where the intake boost transfer port comes up, and the fuel washes the carbon right there. Washes the piston and keeps the carbon deposits clean. Also on the side, there's 2 side transfer ports, and they're washing it right here, as well as the other side over here. And then this is where the exhaust port is. You can see how everything is kind of flowing towards the exhaust port. All these carbon deposits are in kind of a pattern pointing towards the exhaust port, because everything blows out the exhaust port. You can see that the deposits are a little bit different on this one. A little more predominant on the left, a little lighter on the right. None of them are the same. Cylinders are cast, none of them are perfect, and this could indicate that there's something on this side that doesn't flow quite as well. Something in that port, possibly the port window or the port, some casting flaw in the port, or it could mean absolutely nothing. There's no need to get too anal about reading these things. It's just kind of interesting. These are both what I see more often than not. This one has heavy carbon deposits. This one has a little lighter carbon deposits. And but the one on the right here, it's hard to say. This bike could have been putted through the parking lot before it was loaded up and deposited these. These are black because of cooler temperatures from either a real light load or rich jetting. So a light load can cause dark deposits, when you're putting along, or rich jetting. These deposits are even a little dark, but I would say these bikes are jetted pretty well, and probably shut the engine off before putting around. So there's really no problem with this type of carbon buildup. It slightly raises the compression. It slightly reduces the heat transfer. But neither one of those things are significant. Okay, so on to skirt wear. It's going to be kind of hard to see in this video probably, but this skirt has a pretty normal amount of wear. This piston could have gone longer. Some of these little scuff marks on here are just, especially the ones on this side, if you can see these kind of lines across here. Hopefully those will show up in the video. Those are just from jiggling the cylinder on the way when removing the cylinder, and the piston kind of rocked back and forth, and that's all that was. That's of no concern. This piston has about the same amount of wear. Still in decent condition. The gray here is a moly coating that they put on. That makes them break in easier and better. and but it wears off. This piston has, I believe, the most wear of the bunch. It's got quite a bit of wear here. It's because there's machining marks on the piston. There's sideways grooves where they machined it in a lathe, and the machining marks are gone here, and they're gone here. And this piston has a significant amount of blow-by. The rings do. This dark area here is blow-by. This piston's still in really good shape. It's got some blow-by, not too bad. This is actually out of my 2010 300. This one could have gone quite a bit longer. And this was run with AMSOIL at 80 to 1. Guys always think that that's crazy to run an AMSOIL at 81, but AMSOIL's design, AMSOIL Sabre, is designed to run at that ratio. You should always mix your oil at whatever the manufacturer of that oil recommends. Read the bottle. What they recommend is what you should run. If it's Motorex, it's usually 60 to 1. Other brands, it's 40 to 1. But this particular brand of AMSOIL is 80 to 100 to 1. You can see this piston's in excellent shape. I do not baby my bikes. I do keep the filters clean, but this thing gets ridden hard. And it's in excellent condition. So the deposits on top of the pistons are caused, it's ash from the oil and carbon and fuel contaminants or fuel additives can change the colors. Sometimes you get really weird colors on top, and those are usually additives or contaminants. But these are all looking normal. This is what I see most of the time with KTM 300s. 300's a real workhorse motor. The pistons always look good on them. That's all for now.